Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Grace Kwaswa, and this is Vijana Tupo Talks. I am very, very pleased to be here today, and I'm very pleased that you're going to get to join me and have a talk with me and my guest today on mental health and COVID-19. Now, let me give you a paradox. Mental health issues affect vastly more than most, it affects more people than most globally, if not all, more than even physical ailments combined, yet it seems like it's one of the most forbidden topics. There's so much stigma around mental health. So today I'm joined by Shalmali, who is the founder of Empathy for You. She is also a mental health advocate. And I will leave her to introduce herself even as we just go into the discussion. Welcome, Shalmali.
Yeah. Thank you, Grace. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really glad to, have a conversation with all of you at this one of the best initiatives of Kenya, I would say, because I also saw a lot of webinars that are happening. The issues that you guys are addressing, they are really very important, and they are much needed in this times of COVID-19. And yes, we are having the same topic, which is also much needed when it comes to COVID-19 situation, since we are, trying to cope with our mental health since last 2 months, last 3 months, since the COVID-19 crisis has started. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I would like to introduce myself. This is Shalmali. I'm working as a founder at Empathy for You. Basically, Empathy for You is an organization which works in spreading awareness about mental health and suicide prevention. So you can say that I'm nurturing a baby called Empathy for You. I'm also working as the founder president at Letters of Empathy. So Letters of Empathy is a beautiful extension of Empathy for You, wherein we get together, we write letters to the people who are fighting depression. For all the work that I have done in the field of mental health, I have been awarded as a change maker from Youth Lead Organization. Recently, I also started a petition to the government asking to include SEL, that is social and emotional learning, as a subject in the curriculum of schools and colleges. And recently, I've embarked on the journey as a resource panel member with one of the clubs by United Nations, that is Girl Up Campaign, founded by United Nations Foundation. And to the last, I have also embarked as an international member at the International Youth Council by United Nations. Yeah, I feel that's all about me.
And you have a very powerful introduction.
Yeah,
That's really nice. That's really nice. And I was drawn to your initiative that writes for letters for people with mental health illnesses. I think that's a very, very creative idea. I have not heard of it ever. And there's the power of, well, let's say there's the power of storytelling, and there's the power of literature that we put out to people. That's really good work. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So we're just going to go into the discussion, mental health and COVID-19. I mean, COVID-19 is something that we did not expect. We had our 2020 goals and everything. We had written what we want to do. Some of us were almost completing school, and now schools are closed. We can't go back to school. Some of the young people have lost jobs. In fact, most young people have lost their jobs, because here in Kenya, many young people depend on casual jobs. And once there is restrictions, there's movement restrictions, and then there's partial lockdowns, people tend to scale down. Investors tend to scale down. So that means that many people have lost their jobs, and all these things affect their mental health. There's so much worry. Actually, the other day I was seeing in the news somebody that had killed himself alongside the road, had hanged himself alongside the road. And you realize that these things, it just goes back to our mental health, how we take care of our mental health. And that is the discussion we're having today. And before we just go to the discussion, and maybe I'll just ask Shalmali, I hope I am pronouncing your name well.
Yeah, it is Shalmali.
Yeah. Shalmali, okay. Shalmali. Yeah. I'm going to ask Shalmali to maybe share with us how she became a mental health advocate, for those that want to become mental health advocates. Maybe some people can resonate with your story. Yeah, just go ahead and share with us.
So that's a big story actually, and I get this question many a times whenever I have workshops, whenever I have webinars. So I love telling the story about my journey into mental health. So basically, I'm an engineering student. I'm doing my bachelor's in computers, and this was, you know, a different field, different path of mental health. So basically, I would say my mental health journey started in 12th standard, where one of my friend, she went through this phase, like went through depression, and she was, you know, so strongly affected by that. She was 6 months at her home. She couldn't attend her college, she couldn't come along with me to the college, and she was one of my closest friends. So when all of this happened, I was really very disturbed with that. I researched a lot about mental health. After that, I researched a lot about what mental health is, why is it important, because I was just in 12th standard and I was not having, you know, that like not much aware about what that issue is. After that, I realized that she is not the only one, but there might be a lot of youngsters, a lot of teenagers who might be facing the same problem. And after that, I started this initiative of Empathy for You in 2018. So basically, Empathy for You, I would say, came to rise in 2019, but it started in 18, and it wasn't very active since then, because I was still figuring out a path in which my organization wants to work, how my organization is going to work, or what I am going to do through my organization. So after a series of episodes of getting up, falling down, you know, coming forth, going back again. So after a series of episodes of all of this, I finally decided a path, and then my mental health journey started. So Empathy for You officially became active in last year in September 2019. And then we also started as an extension of Empathy for You, which is Letters of Empathy. So you might, as you said, like, it is one of the most creative ideas of writing letters.
Yeah, it
Most of the
is. It
people,
is.
I faced a lot of obstacles because of that, because most of the people, they consider writing letters as an old school idea, so it is considered as old fashioned. So when I initially started, I faced a lot of obstacles, like taking people, involving people. That was a big task for me. So when I started this initiative back in 2018, I'm fond of writing, so I decided myself to write at least one letter every day, because in 2018 I started my online counseling services, and that wasn't professional counseling because I don't have a degree in psychology, or I
Yeah.
haven't studied psychology, so that isn't professional counseling. But through counseling, I try to understand people and listen people, because that is what is important for the people who are, you know, going through all these phases. They might be stressed, they might be depressed, they might be going through any other mental health disorder, they might be just feeling low, or they might just be feeling an idea of sharing their views with others, or sharing, they might be needing and resource to share their feelings with someone else. So that was the main thing when I started this initiative. I started counseling
Mm.
services, and then I decided that every day I'm going to write one letter. And at the end of the month, I used to collect all these letters and post them to the people who approached me for online counseling. So this is continuing from 2018 now. And recently, I wrote my 138th letter. So this is the number of amount of letters that I've written till date. And then in
Nice.
2019, I decided that this initiative of Letters of Empathy could be taken to another level. It can be made more social, and we can actually involve people. So I started hosting letter writing meetups. My first meetup was held in January 2020. So we have completed 2 chapters of Letters of Empathy, one in January, one in February. And we were yet to host a third chapter, but because of COVID-19 crisis, we were not able to do that. And we are, but that haven't stopped us yet, because we are still accepting letters online. We are still, continued being empathetic towards others, and we are still writing letters digitally and sending it out every month. So that is how my journey started of being a mental health advocate. And today you see what I am.
Yeah. And I think it's pretty awesome. It's actually pretty awesome that even some of the biggest initiatives, they don't start from a professional view. How I started Vijana Tupo initiative, it's because my friends were going through something, and most of them had very reduced income, and they didn't know how to be economically empowered. And once you see that, you become very empathetic and want to solve their problems and just try to just come up with a solution for them. I think that's really nice. And what your initiative is doing is very, very, very powerful, very powerful. So now onto the topic of today, which is mental health and COVID-19. As I said earlier, it is an unusual thing. We have not experienced it before. And I think with the history of mental health, it always comes, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it always comes as a result of a build-up of things. So it's either something happened and then you ended up having a mental health illness, or you are in a situation or in an environment that causes you to be depressed or to have anxiety or stress, then you end up with a mental health illness. Yeah, and
Yeah.
what the pandemic is doing, it is inducing a lot of fear, a lot of worry, a lot of concern globally. How, and really it's causing a lot of psychological impact on everyone, not even young people alone. It's everyone. So how, as young people, how should young people respond to that? How should we respond to that?
Yes. So when it comes to mental health, I feel like now the scenario is changing because people have actually started talking about it. Still, there's a
Yeah,
lot of stigma. But if you
yeah,
consider your country, if you consider my country, I would say that there's a very small population who are actually aware about mental health and its importance. And out of that small population, there's another small population who actually talks about it. So I believe that that is the main reason why there's a stigma involved around this issue, or why there's a lack of awareness of mental health. When it
yeah,
comes to mental health, since the pandemic has started, it has been like we have been confined to one place, that is at home. We are not able to move out, we are not able to go
mm,
outside, we are not able to attend school, colleges, we are not able to meet our friends. So there's a sort of anxiety that is happening between the people right now. And also every day we see news, every day we see scroll through social media, that is also making a toll, taking a toll on emotional health. So when it comes to understanding the news, or when it comes to going through social media, I would say that try to limit your screen time. Like whatever you watch the news, or whatever it could be, if you're scrolling through social media, I would say
yeah,
that try to limit your time, because it could be like half an hour in the morning, if it could be half an hour after your work, it could be anything, but just try to limit your time. The second, when it comes to the scrolling through social media, I would say that it's all right if you don't listen to all the tips that come on social media. Because nowadays, if we
mm,
see, there are hundreds of tips, self-care tips, take care of your
that's
mental health
true.
this
Yeah,
way, take care of your mental health in that way. So you
yeah,
see that there are hundreds of tips that are coming on Instagram every day, on any other
yeah,
social media handle every day. And they are so dreamy that I even don't understand like how people are going to carry out those tips. So I would say that it's all right, just calm down. It's all right if you don't want to try all of them, and it's all right. Like since lockdown has started, or since the pandemic crisis has started, it has been like everyone should be productive. It's, I would say, like I would tell this to people, like it's all right, just try to slow down. It's all right if you're not being productive one day. It's all right, just try to take out time for yourself, do things you enjoy at that time. So even you can able to cope with your mind. And coming
yeah.
to how one can indulge himself or herself in the activities, or how we can cope with our mental health in this pandemic situation, I'm going to tell you 6 tips and strategies. So starting with the first, I'm going to tell you about physiological regulation. So everyone might have heard about this, like physical health and mental health, they are related to each other. So I tell
Mm-hmm.
this in every workshops, and I would like to tell it over here also. If this is your physical health, and if this is your mental health, when you're trying to improvise your physical health, you're improvising your mental health. And when you're improvising your mental health, you're trying to improvise your physical health. Are you understanding? Like
Mm,
there's a
yeah,
connection, there's
yeah,
a link
yeah.
between your physical health and your mental health. So when it comes to physiological regulation, the first important thing is breathing. So I would
Mm-hmm.
like to tell you one breathing technique over here, which is I am practicing since last few years, and it is really helping me to focus and concentrate, and it also really helps me to connect with my inner self. So that is called as box breathing. And box breathing, one cycle, it consists of 4 parts. So the first part is inhale, the second part is pause, the third part is exhale, and fourth part is pause. So inhale,
Mm.
pause,
Inhale.
exhale, and pause. A box is formed.
Uh-huh.
obviously you're not supposed to move your body, but you're supposed to close your eyes and move your eyes in a box direction. So you have to visualize a
Mm-hmm.
box. So this is called as box breathing technique. And I would say that you can practice 10 to 12 cycles of box breathing every day. So it hardly requires, 7 to 8 minutes every day. So I'm not saying that whenever you are sitting down for breathing, practicing any breathing technique, I'm not saying that you have to sit rigorously for 40 minutes and do it continuously. No need. If you just practice it for 7 to 8 minutes, that also helps you to, focus. It increases your focus and it increases your concentration. When
Mm-hmm.
it comes to physiological regulation, the second tip I would like to give people, specifically youth, is meditation. Because they all believe like meditation, yoga, these are the words that are, over exaggerated and they don't even want to try about it. But just believe me, meditation and yoga, they are the most important things and you have to do that. So when it comes to meditation, again, you don't have to sit rigorously for 40-45 minutes, close your eyes compulsorily and do that. But it's all right if you do it for 5 to 10 minutes also. That is really important because it helps you to connect with your inner self. You're able to pick inside your mind and actually know what's happening. Just try to focus on your breath when you are practicing meditation. Like, yes, you are inhaling what you are and you are exhaling what you are not. So just try to do that
Uh-huh.
while doing meditation. So it could be, 5 to 10 minutes in the morning or in between your work breaks, or it could be in the evening also. But just try to take out time and do meditation every day. And the third, as I said, yoga asanas. So I'm not telling you to do yoga asanas every day, but it could be like yoga one day, second day it could be some cardio workout, third day it could be some Zumba workout. So just try to maintain, like try to do something new every day so that even you
Yeah.
feel like doing physical activity every day. Because when it comes to me,
Mm.
I really need to push myself to do some physical activity every day, but I end
Yeah.
up doing that. That is also very important.
Yeah.
So this was the first, which is physiological regulation. The second tip I'm going to talk about is self-care. So like when it comes to self-care, again, people feel like self-care is equal to being selfish. So this is totally wrong, because self-care is what you are doing for yourself and self-care is what you are doing to attain your peace of mind. So under self-care, I would like to talk about eating right and sleeping right. Because since here in India, since the lockdown has started, I'm getting messages from the people saying that I'm not able to sleep before 3 a.m. So this is a one
Mm.
category message. And on the other category, it is like I'm taking constant long naps. So these are two different kind of things. And when it
Yeah.
comes to eating right, I would say that try to follow a diet, not actually a diet, but try to eat as healthy as possible. So it can include green leafy vegetables, it could include sprouts, it could include rice in your diet, but try to include healthy diet. And try to
Yeah.
sleep right. Your average sleep should be of 7.5 hours every day. So that is very important. The next I would
Mm-hmm.
like to talk about is taking out some me time. Me time is, I would say, your own quality time where you spend time with yourself. So taking out some me time
Mm.
is very important. Like if you ask me how do I spend my me time, so it is in journaling. Because since the pandemic situation has started and since we are locked down at our homes, I've been having ample amount of time available in the hand, and so I've started writing my journal. So journaling me to me is a very different thing, because I write down each and everything that comes to my mind, may it be positive, may it be negative. So I write down everything in my journal. So that is how I enjoy my me time. There could be some people who enjoy their me time while reading books. Some might enjoy their me time in listening music. Some might they enjoy their me time just sitting at the balcony and enjoying the view outside. So it could be anything for you, but try to take out that me time every day, because at that time you're trying to connect with your inner self. And the last one is self-care is podcast. So nowadays there are a lot of podcasts that are available. So specifically, if you try to listen to motivational podcast, romantic podcast, so it could be anything that you love to listen. So I'm doing this while washing utensils these days. So I just plug in my earphones, start my podcast, and wash my utensils. So anyways, I get that work also done. The third strategy I'm going to talk about is positive relationships. So, as I just told you
Mm-hmm.
about how your physical health is related to your mental health, in the same way your mental health is also
Mental
directly
health.
related to your relationships, because you need to have positive people in your life. So when it comes to relationships, I would say that even though we are locked down, internet is a blessing for all of us. So just try connecting with the people you haven't connected, since last few days. For some people it could be also like that, like they're stuck in a place and their family is very away from them. So in this time, internet is helping us to connect with our old friends or people who you haven't met. So just try doing a video call every day. So even if you talk with your close person or you talk with your friend, in that way also you are trying to release your stress or you are releasing your day's anxiety. The second is connecting with your family is very important, because your
Yeah.
family is the one who are, involved in every of your life. They are the ones who are involved in every decision of your life. So I would say that connecting with the family is very important. So I'll give you an example of my family. So when it comes to us, it's like we enjoy our me time, or we connect during our dinner time, because we all have decided that we'll keep our mobiles aside for 1 hour. We get together at dining table and discuss all the things that we did in a day. So this is how we
Mm.
connect. And next, I would say that you have to identify the people in your life who are trying to pull you down and who are trying to, rise you up. I know it's a very difficult process to do that, but and there goes a whole lot of process behind that, knowing people who are trying to pull you down and who are trying to rise you up. But you have to do that to, cope with your mental health, helping you to cope with your mental health. So and try to maintain 2 hands distance away from those people who are trying to pull you down. The
Mm-hmm.
fourth tip I'm going to talk about is managing your thoughts. So, when it comes to your mental health, or when it comes to your well-being, mental well-being, your thoughts and your emotions are always jumping inside your mind. So, having a positive self-talk is very important. Like a day before, I was feeling a bit low, so I just started having talking with myself, and that was in a positive way. So I wasn't saying that, Charmely, you are frustrated, your things are not working, you are not feeling like working. I was saying that it's all right, Charmely. It's all right if you're not being productive one day. This too shall pass, and you will start working again tomorrow, or you will start working again in a few hours. So that in this way, you have to have a positive talk with yourself. So just try preventing yourself, whatever you talk, let it be positive. The next I would say is reach out for help. So whenever you're feeling like you're not able to, handle all the stress, you're not able to handle all the anxiety within yourself, try reaching out for help. But this is again, on the darker side, because we as we discussed earlier, there's a stigma that revolves around it, and so there are very few people who actually reach out for help to the people. But
Yeah.
I would say that try to reach out for help, because you don't know, like, help can come from unexpected sources. It could be your father, it could be your mother, it could be your siblings, it could be your best friend. So help can come from unexpected sources, but you have to reach out, you have to let know people what you are going through. That is very
Uh-huh.
important. uh, the last I would say is doing things that you enjoy. So as I previously said, it's all right if you're not being productive one day, but try to do things that you are enjoying. So it could be, just taking a walk. It could be just trying out some new exercises. It could be just trying out a new recipe. It could be just baking something. It could be just listening to music, or it could be just playing games, or just sitting and breathing. So it could be anything that you love to do, but try doing the things that you love doing. And I would say that when it comes to, whenever we are having time left, I would say that this shouldn't be the situation. Try to indulge yourself in some other activities, try to keep yourself busy in some of the other activities, so that even you don't get the time to think about it. So like whenever we have an empty mind, it's like it is said, right, empty mind is devil's workshop. So when you are having an empty mind, you start creating stories, your mind start creating stories. So I would say that try to be busy as you can, and try to indulge yourself in some of the other activities, so that you don't even get time to think about all of those things. So fear, panic, stress, anxiety, they can be just far away from you. That's what I want to say.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love. You mentioned something about journaling. I enjoy journaling, and I think that it's a very nice way to just even just ease to release what you feel in a very personal way. I enjoy journaling a lot, and I'd encourage even our listeners today that if you can get a journal, a book, an exercise book that you can write what you're feeling after at the end of a long day, that can be really helpful to you. I know journaling has helped me in a very, very big way. And I love something that you said: inhale while you're meditating, inhale what you are and exhale what you are not. I think that brings a lot of positive energy.
Yeah.
And it helps you even affirm yourself, affirm the things that you are about, and just get out the things that you're not about. I think your presentation was very, very nice. Do you have, I know this is like just an abrupt question, but do you like have a routine that you would recommend to a young person who is trying to cope with a mental health issue? Do you have a routine that they can follow? I mean,
All
like
right.
just a simple routine. Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to the people who are going through mental health disorders, it's very important for them to make or follow a routine. But I would say that in the same way, I would tell them to try a new exercise, do things they enjoy, and then try to take out some me time for themselves. But then
Yeah.
again, when it comes to mental health disorders, there are different types of mental health disorders, and there are different phases. Like it could be very very serious to, then there could be just it could get over in just few hours also. So there are different mental health or disorders that are ranging in this range. So I would say that this could not be accessible, or this could not be the routine for all the people who are going through mental health disorders. But then again, this could be something that can be followed, because some people, they are so this thing that they are not able to even get out of their bed. They don't even feel like getting out of their bed every day. So we also
Yeah.
need to be grateful for that we actually get out of our bed every day. We actually feel like
Yeah.
getting out of our bed every day and doing some activities and carrying out our work. Because there are people who are actually are not able to do that, and there are some people
Yeah.
who they are going through such a dark time that they actually need help. They actually need someone to help them, but you know because of the stigma that revolves around it, because of the if I am a person who is going through mental health disorder, I want to approach a psychologist, I want to approach a therapist for help. But then there's the society which is taking me behind, who is taking me behind, because that's where I see that there's a stigma. And that was the illustration I made yesterday in my journal also. So I really feel that, because there was a girl who messaged me on my social media handle, and she said that, ma'am, I'm not able to concentrate on my studies, I'm not able to and I really wanted help. I told about this to my mother, and I also told about your name, that we could approach this like she is working in the field of mental health. But she said, like, my mother said that, no, we don't need help of anyone, you will be all right after some days. So this is the thing where I believe is the stigma. I believe there's a lack of awareness about mental health, and that girl is knowing
Yeah.
that she needs to approach someone, she needs to reach out for help, but her mother, she's trying to block her somewhere. So she messaged me through Instagram, and I'm really glad that I was of her help, because she was really disturbed when she told her story that she's not able to concentrate on her studies. She's not able to go to
Yeah.
school. She don't even feels like going to school every day, and she was just in ninth standard. So I was glad that I was really able to help her out. I told her some of the tips that she needs to follow. Like I even told her, like, the main her main problem was she was not able to study, sit for longer hours and study, and she was not able to concentrate and focus. So the thing that I told her was, start with 5 minutes every day. So it's all right if you are not able to sit for 45 minutes or 1 hour and study continuously. It's all right. I just said her, sit only for 10 minutes today and study. And she came back to me. She messaged, I did it very easily. I sat for 10 minutes easily. The next day I said, try it for 15 minutes. So next day she sat for 15 minutes. She came back again, messaged me. I said, perfect. Tomorrow you're going to sit for 25 minutes. So she went, but she was facing a hurdle, because she was never sitting for, for this longer time of 25 minutes. So she was
Mm-hmm.
facing that anxiety and stress, that she was not able to sit for 25 long minutes. But then she was able to do it on the third day of trying continuously to sit for 25 minutes, and finally she was able to do it for 45 minutes the last day. So this is how I would say, like, even if you're not being productive one day, it's all right. Just don't try to be harsh to yourselves, or don't try to be, force yourselves to do that thing. It's all right if you're not feeling, like, if 100 things are not working out, there might be at least one or two things that work out for yourself. And those might be the things that you love to do. So when it comes to like, a lot of people are saying that you have to be productive, you have to do this. And also I would like to suggest the people who are living along with the people who are facing anxiety or some mental health disorder, I would like to tell them that first of all, start getting comfortable with those people, because they are the people who don't really come out and talk about what they're going through, or they will not tell them, like, yes, I'm facing this today, I'm feeling this today. They're not going to come out and tell you. So I would say that people who are living with them, try to get comfortable with them, try to be as a friend to them, so that they come and they talk about this to you. The next thing I would say is, please don't advise on people. Like, if you are telling me, like, you went through this, I'm not supposed to advise you, I'm just supposed to listen to that, and just tell you
Uh-huh.
that, yes, I am there with you. Yes, you can, this too shall pass. Yes, you are going to come out through this very easily. So these are some of the keywords, or these are some of the things that you have to mention. You're never supposed to advise. Like, if you tell them, if you tell me, like, I went through all of this today, so I'm not going to tell you, go exercise, you'll feel well, go do this thing, try something you love. I'm not going to tell that. This is, in this way, you're advising that person, and that might really hurt that person, and she will not do that. So when it comes to this, try to just listen to them and don't advise them. Try refrain yourself from advising them. If you want them to do something, I would say that do yourself, you also indulge along with them. Like, if you want that person to do exercise, say to him, like, yes, come on, let's do exercise, both of us will do. Or if you want that person to do something else, like, if you want to try baking something, tell that person, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to bake something, but I'm not able to do that, could you help me out, please? So even that person comes along with you, and then you can do it together. So the first thing, be comfortable with them, don't advise them. And the third thing, just don't try to tell them, do this, do that. You do along with them. So that is how you can, help a person. If any person who is around you, who is facing anxiety, who is going through depression, going through any mental health disorder, so this is how you can be with that person.
Uh-huh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for that. And I've been thinking, I think that you should expand your initiative to even countries like Africa, because I believe, I mean, continents like Africa and countries in Africa, because honestly, thinking about it, even in my country, Kenya, right now, we just had a report the other day that there has been, increased incidences of gender-based violence, and this affects children. It affects the mental health of children. So even just just trying to expand and getting to write letters to children and to just encourage them, that can be really a good idea and
Yes,
a good plan.
yes,
I
definitely.
really love that initiative of writing letters. I think it's fantastic. You say that your mental health is related to your relationship, it's related to literally everything. So be it your diet, be it your environment, literally everything affects your mental health. So that means that for all of us that are even listening in today, what we take in, garbage out, right? So if you take in bad relationships, if you put yourself in situations that are going to bring garbage in your mind, then you're going to really reflect that garbage. If you keep seeing, if you keep watching things that devastating news right now, everything is very, 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 it can get scary and it can get a little bit horrific. So let's be careful in what we are watching. Let's be careful in what we are listening to. And as Shalmali has said, uh, sometimes you just need to listen. Sometimes you need to listen to somebody that's affected and don't offer advice. Sometimes somebody just wants you to listen and just, tell them they'll be fine, because sometimes we think we're offering a solution, but we are actually worsening the situation. That was fantastic. That was a good one. That was a good one. I think that's all for today. That was a wonderful session. Those are very practical tips that you can take. The meditation, the journaling, what you eat. It's something that anybody can do. It's not a complex thing that somebody cannot follow. So thank you so much, Halmali. I hope that you're going to expand your initiative to even other countries. Come to Africa, go to Europe, and write letters, because I believe it's a great thing that you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you so much for having me. And definitely, I would say that it was my pleasure coming to this platform and talking about mental health. And as you told me, or as you advised me about, expanding this movement to different countries. Yes, definitely, we are trying to do that because as you said, it's one of the creative ideas of writing letters. So yes, definitely
Yeah.
we are trying to do that. And I hope I'm able to involve a lot of people in my movement, making them aware about what mental health is, how we need to prevent suicides. So yeah, this movement would go on forever. And thank you so much for having me. It was my pleasure talking about, telling the youth about how they need to take care of their mental health. And definitely try out this strategies that I told you, but also find out the strategy that works for you, because
Yeah.
there also again comes like one strategy might be working for me, the same might be working for Grace, but we are not sure that the same might work for the third person. So even if I
That's
tell you the tips and strategies, you have to identify it for yourself, that what works for you positively and what triggers you negatively. So I would say that try implementing those properties, strategies, and all those techniques, and definitely take care of your mental health. Feed, nurture your mental health every day, and also take care of your physical health, because that is also related to your mental health. And lastly, I would say that to everyone out there, not only just youth, to each and every one out there, that we shouldn't make the social distinction between the physical health and mental health. Like, for
yeah.
example, we say that today I'm having an appointment with my doctor, or today I'm going to go see my dentist. We say this very easily. But when it comes to psychiatrist, we don't easily say that, yes, I'm having a session with my psychiatrist or a therapist. So
Mm-hmm.
here,
Mm-hmm.
there's a stigma and the lack of awareness. So I would say that
Mm-hmm.
stop making that social distinction between your physical health and your mental health, between a doctor and a psychiatrist, because that is where we are going to end the stigma and spread more and more awareness about mental health. That's what I would want to say.
Absolutely. That's why it's okay not to be okay. And that's one thing we need to normalize. So thank you so much, Halmali. I'm going to end it here. To all the attendees and the listeners, kindly, you can find us on Anchor FM. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Breaker FM. And this is going to be uploaded on YouTube too. So you can be sharing it and listening to it all year long. And I hope that this discussion was very impactful. So see you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.